Okay, so today we are installing our windshield on the Can-Am Defender. This is the XT that we have here. Fits the HD8 and the HD10. Basically, when you get your windshield, it's going to come to you shipped basically like this in a cardboard box, all wrapped up. Have your instructions in there, everything you need to install your windshield, other than a Phillips head screwdriver. And you're going to need a 1/2-inch ratchet, whatever type you have. You can use an open end or a closed end, an open end, but a ratchet's actually easier to install these little bolts that we've got to do. Basically, just so that we can see this before we put the windshield on. If you have any questions on whether it's going to fit properly or not, you can just simply install it up on there itself without even taking off the protective plastic. Which I would highly recommend doing, just because on this one, if you remove the protective plastic off of the windshield, you own it. So check it first, because actually to install this, I'm going to need to peel the protective plastic off of the bottom section, especially on the inside, because it's right against the dash. So there's no way you're going to be able to get that protective coating off. So as you can see from my picture from this video, is that we're at the perfect height for the hardtop. You're gonna have to just pop up this hardtop just a little bit. That's kind of how we like them, to be nice and tight, keeping out the water and such. So this would be a perfect fit on this guy. If you have any questions though, check it first before you install it, before you're taking any of the plastics off, because as I say, once you take the plastics off, you own the windshield. Now, with that in mind, and I know that it fits, I'm going to go ahead and peel this protective coating off the back. I'm going to leave the front on until I get it all set. Reduces the fingerprints is the big part to that, so that's why I like keeping this on as much as I possibly can. So we're going to take this windshield and we're going to slip it in, and it goes right in between. It's going to slip down into the body here. So you want it to slip in between the plastic and the roll bar, basically. And what we're going to do to start with, oh, you know what? See, this is the education. I didn't peel the plastic off before. You're going to need to peel the plastic off of the top and the bottom, because there's no way you're getting that bottom off once it gets in there. Okay, so slide that guy back into there like that. Then what we want to do, what I would recommend on this guy, is just go ahead and pop it underneath your roof, because it's going to press it down nice and tight. And like I say, that's all it takes to pop it into place, but doesn't take much. And this way you can set it and make sure that you're nice and even on both sides. There we go. Make sure we're even right there. We want it to be down all the way, but I'm just setting level, and basically how I'm doing that is I'm looking at these bolts right here and just making sure they're lined up properly. Slots right here that are in the side of your roll bar, we're going to be using those to put our bottom bolt on. We only use them for the bottom bolt. We actually are not, just because of where they're placed, it gives us a nice location down lower. So we're going to be placing our bolt that we're going to need the ratchet for right here. And then we're going to grab these little metal bolts that we're going to use to go into here. As I said, this goes in right here. You're just going to take that, you got to apply a little pressure to it, get it rolling. Just snug those up tight. You don't need to over tighten that. That's nothing that needs to be cranked so far down, because actually if you crank these too far down, you can potentially actually weaken your connection to them. So you just want them tight, because it'll tear out the threads if you over tighten them. It'll tear out the threads of the bolt, as well as can actually tear out the metal. So we just want to snug those up nice and tight. Now our next thing, we're going to grab our 2 brackets. Our brackets, we've already, these fancy brackets we had made up specifically for these roll bars. They have the bolt already lodged into them. It's already locked into that. So basically, all you need to do is wrap this right around your roll bar right there. They fit up beautifully because we had them made to fit perfect. And fits up nice and tight right there. And we've already got this windshield pretty much locked in place, so I'm going to go ahead and actually just secure these bad boys up right now, because we're already nice and tight. So usually I kind of do like one side and then the other side, but honestly this windshield's not moving once those bad boys are in there, so there's nothing really to balance or adjust. There's just putting these bolts in. Sometimes it helps to not put it too tight to the windshield, so that you can allow it to get kind of aligned there as you're putting those in. And then again, we're just going to tighten that down. Okay, pretty much almost finished the installation. The hardest part is done, is that's it. And now we have these same kind of brackets for up here for the upper portion that you can use. And with these ones, we have them with the little finger nuts, and actually I didn't grab them, but these will come with little washers that go over the front of them so that they sit on your windshield nice and tight. And just want to secure those on there. That's basically how we're going to do it for hooking it up. What I'm going to do real quick before I put it in the up position is that I'm just going to go ahead and set as to how we would do for the hooking the straps on it. Now once we get it at this point, obviously we can tear the protective coating off of all sides. I'm going to do that so that you can see better what I'm doing. Okay, first off, we're going to how we secure this in the down position when we're towing. We are going to take our first strap, actually we're going to take our first strap, and we're going to take smooth side facing us, and we're going to feed that through this slot, this angled slot right here. And just feed that down through. That's all we're going to do. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. We're going to take we're going to feed that guy down through there. You can slide it all the way through, like I'm overly anal retentive, so like I shove it all the way down through. If it sits on the top like that, it'll work just fine. Just make sure it's nice and tight. I kind of like just pinching. If you just pinch this little bottom right here, it allows the clamp to slide all the way into the hole. Either way works. Now that's our first thing. Our second thing is when we tilt the windshield down, we're going to take our second strap, and we're going to feed it through this hole. Again, smooth side facing us. And again, same thing on this. Either make sure it's nice and tight, or pinch the sew joint so that it will just flip through there a little bit easier. Just going to quickly do this on the other side. Smooth side facing me. And we are set. Now what I want to do to begin with is that I don't want to put too much pressure on this because I want to actually tighten these down. So I'm going to just snug them down just a little bit, and grab my 4 bumpers. And I'm going to snug this guy. I don't know, I might have over tightened that because I don't want to, if I get too tight I won't be able to put these bumpers on. Now as you can see, our 4 points that we need to worry about contact on this windshield are right across here. So what we're going to do, take bumper number 1, we're going to slide him, and that's kind of why you don't want to get him too tight, so that you can kind of lift the windshield up right there. And that guy goes right there on that, and we just want to span it right across the center of it. Kind of putting it as close as I can to that groove right there, spanning it across the center. And then I'm going to take these next 2 guys and I'm going to push down on the windshield, getting my positioning nice so that I'm protected right there. And those 4 guys right there will keep your windshield from buggering up your hood when traveling. Now that we've got that, what I want to do when I go to tow, come over here, is that I want to grab that windshield and I'm going to pull that guy as tight as I can, and I'm going to hook the underneath strap. That's why it's important that they go reverse opposite of each other. And I'm going to pull that strap just like that. And then I'm going to come over to here and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to take this strap, I'm going to pull that as tight as I possibly can, lock in the back, wrap around the front. Now as you can see, I am lifting up on that windshield, and with both arms I can get it to move. This is a ton of, so it's locked down. And when you're towing it, the pressure is actually going to be right here on it, so it's not even going to be a it's you know, so it's just gonna hold and stay right there. But as you're riding around, nice and secure. So that's how we secure it in the down position. Now this is also where a couple things that I have not mentioned up to this point. Do not use Loctite on any plastic product. You use it on our windshield, it voids all warranties. We know you used it because you can't help but see what Loctite does to plastic. It has a consistency to it. Don't use Loctite, and never wash your windshield, wipe your windshield off with paper towels. Always use water. It's one of the advantages to our tilt windshield. One of the many advantages to our tilt windshields is that the ease of cleaning it. If you're out on the trail and it gets dirty and dusty, simply tilt your windshield down like this, rinse it off with some water, use a clean cloth. Microfiber's the optimal one to use. But any clean cloth will work. Paper towel is not an option at all. Completely against what you should use on plastics. So clean it, that's the thing. Now we want to, it's getting cold or it's starting to rain or whatever the case is, we just simply release these 2 straps. We jump out, we pop our top up into here like this. And like I said, it just takes one little second to kind of put it in, but I just like to make them as tight as we possibly can. I'm going to take, now there's 2 ways you can do this, to be real honest. I'm going to show you the easy way, and then I'm going to show you a little more complex way. If you're really riding hard, don't do this one. So smooth side facing you, clip to the back. This clip's got to be in the back, because that actually pulls the pressure the correct way. And we wrap it around there like that, and you cinch that puppy up. And literally this, you know, the bonus to that is that's the exact same way that it is set up when you take off for the strap down. On the rest of the windshields, on other windshields that are different design than this one, you have to change around these straps. But on this one, basically how I showed you to do it, smooth side facing you, clip when it's tipped down. You can just take that right from there, secure that down, and your windshield is really tight right here. But that isn't the way that we set it up 100% to be. We set it up to have these little brackets. So you're going to receive these. So you don't have to use them. You can do either one. And these little brackets are going to go in here. Sometimes the first time through them is a little difficult just because, well, because we have to paint them so they look nice. And so that first thread through, next time, not so hard. Put that on there like that, just secure it down nice and snug. Exact same thing over here. Oh, that one was a heck of a lot easier. And like I say, this, I am not showing this with the little plastic grommets that go on here, but there's a plastic washer that goes on the outside of this to hold it down. So you'll have those in your install kit. I didn't grab them for this one. The thing to utilizing these clamps and what they do a little bit different than this guy will do right here is, you see, when I tighten that clamp up, it actually sucked the top of this windshield. Zoom up to there. It sucked it up tight underneath that roll bar right there, because it pinched this back and sucked that back further. So that is the one difference in just utilizing the straps versus these. So it's where you don't necessarily have to have them with you all the time, or you may not need to use them all the time, but if it's raining, I'm gonna say I'm gonna use these little clamps because it's going to give you a much better seal up here at top. Like I say, I would probably, for the most part, use these fancy little Velcro straps because they're quick and easy and they hold it nice and tight. But we have multiple options on this guy. So we want to tilt this down. We're either going to take out these four right here. We're going to take off those straps, whichever it may be. And just a little side note is when you're out riding and such like that, so that you don't lose these guys when you got your windshield up, just take that guy and wrap it around there real tight like that. Now it's just set, ready to go. When you need to put your windshield on the next time, pop that out and you're ready to rock and roll. So, spin these off. All right, and then again, if we, now it's just got warm or it just got dusty or whatever the case is, or we're gonna tow it home, click that down. Again, slide our straps down through there. Take this guy, pull him as tight as we possibly can. And basically this is double Velcroed. That's a critical aspect to it, is that if for some reason one of them broke loose, we have two Velcro straps holding this. And we have special made straps. They're very heavy duty, designed to last. If you ever need to replace them, you can give us a call. We do sell them. And then again, I'm gonna just pull that as tight as I possibly can. Yeah, and over time, I mean, just like anything that's Velcro, I mean, you should, you know, it's a situation that it can get worn over time. And so you want to make sure you check them. If they're getting bad, you know, if you go to pull up on it and they're tearing on you or anything like that. So basically, this is how we're going to be towing our windshield, towing with our vehicle. The advantage to this, I didn't get that straight, and since the customer's coming to pick it up, I want it to look all pretty. So I'm going to get that nice and straight for him. Okay, just like that. And so, you know, keep an eye on your straps. Obviously, anything that wears, you're responsible in towing for your things. Just make sure that, you know, if you see a strap getting worn, If it's been dumped in the mud, you need to wash it off, because obviously that plugs up the fibers. It doesn't mean that the thing's no good anymore, just need to wash them off. So always make sure your straps are nice and secured before you start towing it down the road, because, you know, if you got crappy tie downs, nothing holds on. So we thank you for your business. If you have any questions after watching this video, please feel free to give us a call. Thanks so much.